It's a poll of African Americans across the United States. We asked them how they feel about life in America in general, but we also honed in on how they feel about the different primary candidates and kind of how they were making their decisions. One of the biggest factors for African American voters, as well as voters who are not African American, is whether or not they feel that a candidate can beat Trump. Whether that candidate can go head to head with Trump and win. And that's a large part of the reason that Joe Biden is leading, because people feel like he can beat Trump, and that makes him the most electable. Pete Buttigieg doesn't do particularly well in a head-to-head matchup with Trump. He would win if the election were today. He wouldn't win by as much as a Joe Biden or a Bernie Sanders or an Elizabeth Warren. When asked who they prefer, which candidate they prefer, Democratic-leaning African-American voters, I think just 2% said Pete Buttigieg. There's a couple of reasons that African Americans largely prefer Joe Biden, according to our survey. One is the fact that he was Obama's vice president. They feel like Biden would mean a continuation of the Obama-era policies that they like. Many of the voters have said is, look, we know who Joe Biden is. We know the good, we know the bad, we know the history, we know the track record, we know what we're getting. That history with Biden, for right or wrong, is a big part of his staying power. Kamala Harris went after Joe Biden in a Democratic debate.
It was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country.
Cory Booker has called out Joe Biden in a Democratic debate.
This week I hear him literally say that I don't think we should legalize marijuana. I thought you might have been high when you said it.
And through it all, Biden has been relatively consistent with African American voters. They're pretty loyal to him. Black voters are probably the most consistently loyal bloc for the Democratic Party. Many people will say, a Democrat can't win unless they prove that they can pull in a significant number of black voters.
We have not relegated racism and white supremacy to the pages of history. But the greatness of this nation has always been and must continue to be that we still strive to relegate it.